work hard, you should take commerce,
You
So
put
from that,
yourself in the shoe of your client and understand their pain point and then find a solution for that.
see, the role of a compliance person is very, very stressful.
Yes, unfortunately, this still is that particular mindset of the people are there that abhi to time hai na, we'll do it.
So
Like,
all practicing people, they suffer a lot because of this.
see, ultimately it's they are going to who will be
So
suffering
is it the
because
problem only in India that people do at the last moment for the compliance, or it is a problem across the whole
that
globe
it
where
is extremely important that you should have a work-life balance.
everything? But for a woman, there is a deadline everywhere. Good morning, everyone. We are again back with another legendary conversation. Why do I call them legendaries? Because they have all built over years and they are doing great work in their own professions. There's a great learning which is there embedded in the journey, in the way they speak about their professions, in the way they have coped up in different challenges, different critical and crucial situations, how they have handled team, and how they have come out bright, shining in so many years of experience. Let's together welcome Mrs. Rashida Adenwala. Have I pronounced it right, Rashida?
Absolutely right. Yes.
Welcome. So, Rashida is here with us with her experience around 4 decades in corporate laws, compliances as a company secretary for the listing and IPOs, which she's been handling with her firm, which is now 27 years old and 40 people working under her. Uh, she has worked in India as well as helped Indian companies in incorporating in different other countries. Lot of cross-border transactions. She's also an LLB. So the law and the company secretary, which is a very very famous combination. We are going to hear more about this profession. So stay tuned with us. Welcome, Rashida. Let's talk
Thank you very much.
about something which, you know, makes this conversation more fruitful for everyone who's listening.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, Sachi. It's indeed a pleasure to be part of this, your podcast, and look forward to an exciting conversation.
Great. So let's begin the conversation with the first sentence that why corporate laws and why company secretary? Was it very clear, or you took a little confusion drive, or how was it that you made up your mind for this?
Yeah, very interesting question. And so, when I was completing my BCom post, then definitely I was looking at something as a career. And I was always very much interested in finance and accounts, and I was very, very good at accounts. And so I thought I would definitely be a chartered accountant. And my father also had dreams, that he would one day become a chartered accountant, but unfortunately he could not because of family pressures. So I thought, let me fulfill his dream. But when we went to one of my uncles, who's been my mentor, at that point of time, which I'm talking about 40 years back, he told me that CS company secretary is going to be an upcoming profession, while chartered accountancy there is already one too many. So why don't you look at going for this course rather than a CA? So my father also told me that why don't you look, but unfortunately I law was something which was absolutely I hated it. Theory was not my subject at all, and I was very practically oriented. So but then since my uncle said and my father also said, just go ahead, and I said, okay, let me take the leap of faith, and that's how I started my journey as doing law as well as company secretary both together. I joined the law government law college to do my law, and while everybody said that this will be a lethal combination, so let's do it together, and that's how my journey as a CS and a company secretary started. But I think that it was a fantastic and a very right decision, and I'm very grateful to both my dad and my uncle for giving me this right decision, because today where I am is all because, and I think that this profession has given me a lot. And I also feel very indebted to this profession. I would love to give back as much as I can. So that's what.
Wonderful. And I so much resonate with, this confusion which lies with so many people. that you had a decision because you had already taken commerce. I remember my journey when where I was in my 10th grade, and there my father particularly said that I think you're a commerce person, you should not take up science at all. And that good old days, people used to say that if you don't want to work hard, you should take commerce. So from that journey to coming to this finishing a chartered accountancy itself, I feel that there's a great combination of the people who have really pushed us on taking this decision. Very, very true. So, coming back to your professional life, was it a journey which you had certain strong learnings, which you as a persona was changed because of that? What were your three top challenging, learnings which you learned the hard way, and how do you think that that has changed and impacted you?
Yes. So basically, as you know, I was born brought up in Mumbai, and then marriage brought me to Hyderabad. About 36 years back, and it so happened that when I came here, obviously, it was because company secretary. The first choice always is to take up a job in a corporate, and as a legal professional. But unfortunately somehow the offers that I got were not too very exciting, and then I decided, okay, why not. And at that time in Hyderabad there was nobody who was into practicing as a company secretary, and there was very very small firms and companies which were there which actually did not require a full-time company secretary, right? Because there was not much work. So you hardly, there would be a work for 2 or 3 days in a week and not more. So then many people said that, is it possible for you to just do something part time rather than giving full time? So because for them also the cost would become more reasonable. So that gave me an idea. I said, yeah, fantastic, why don't we look at uh, doing CS as a in practice. So that's when I started my practice. But definitely it was extremely challenging, because one is that I had nobody over here, no contacts whatsoever, right? I had come down from Mumbai. Hyderabad was absolutely alien to me. Second challenging was that definitely at that point of time, there were a lot of preferences in terms of who you would like to work with, in terms of so to get into an entry, especially one being not from the city, second being in women, and third doing something which was entirely unknown at that point of time, right? Nobody could understand the concept of a company secretary. They always thought secretary means a personal secretary, yeah, to the managing director. So to explain to them that no, this is more to do with the corporate, to do with compliances, to do with, so to get to that, to make them understand. And as you know, that mostly entrepreneurs or founders are somebody who would want to just focus on their work and on their business rather than give importance to compliance. So that was the most challenging thing, which I got to had to overcome. But slowly and steadily, yes, when they realized that this is the importance of it, and how important it is to be compliant, and how important it is that you need to take professional help, and they realized that yes, it was helping them at least to scale and grow. Because if you're a compliant company, then you get funds easily from investors, so those are the things which they realized as they moved forward. And that's how I slowly steadily, of course it was a huge struggle for almost 2 3 years before I could really get a foothold. But that's what I realized, that I have to stay focused. I realized that I should not give up, because it's very easy to give up, very easy to give up. Many a times a thought came that, okay, just let it go, let me just find a good job. But then I said no, I have to prove myself. So maybe that was what made me get going. And today, thankfully, yes, we are RNA Associates is one of the biggest firms in Hyderabad, as a practicing corporate professional, and have established a certain brand which I feel that when I look back, I feel good and I'm happy about it. Especially when I have been, when I realize that I've been able to train so many people and help them get them employment. So I have almost trained more than 150 professionals, company secretaries, And today they are all, more than 50% are already in practice, so basically in competition. But I don't see that as a competition. I'm really happy because the way this profession has grown over the years, and now with the complexities of the laws, nobody can do without a company secretary. So yes, it has been a difficult but a very exciting journey.
Okay. So let's say you were new to Hyderabad and you started your own practice. So, what were those top two things which you definitely did, which was different to actually get into the business mode, to come into getting more work? So, what is that you could do? Because for young practicing people, that is one challenge they always either they have to be absolutely perfect in their communication and the interaction skills, or they have a lot of um, go to networking places. What is that you have done for getting into it?
Yeah, so what main two vision and mission of what I have followed, or the culture that I have developed, is one is that whatever come may, we have to ensure that we deliver on time, because everything in compliance is all time bound. If you don't, then there are huge penalties which the clients will have to suffer. So
True,
number
but that is when the work would come, right? How do you actually ensure that the work comes?
Okay, yeah. So one is, of course, the the fact that you're knowledge based, right? So how well equipped you are with the subject matter, right? And how you are able to analyze or yourself, you put yourself in the shoe of your client and understand their pain point and then find a solution for that, right? So that's basically what and second is that whatever work came my way in the field which I was good in corporate law. So maybe if not company law, but somebody said, can you handle FEMA, can you handle these matters? So I would never say no, I will not, right? I will say yes, but I would also tell them factually that, look, I have not done this before, but I know I'm confident that I can handle this if you can give me and trust me enough to be able to do it. So that's how so being honest to tell them that I mean I obviously nobody knows all, but it's the my keenness and eagerness to keep learning new things. So I say definitely, and we continue to do that. Like, just for example, day before yesterday, somebody approached and saying that, is it possible for you to help us get us some medical licenses approvals? Now, we've never done this before, but my team was entirely excited. I mean, because they follow my culture and says, yes ma'am, we will do it, we will do full research. Let, if the client can give us 2 days, we'll come back with a full research, we'll do that. And they did it, and they came out, they met, I mean, got the names of connections and everything possible. So it's just that, whatever is related to you. I wouldn't say that, I can do everything, but anything under corporate law which relates to corporate, definitely we can handle because we know how to go about doing it. And so that's I think that was what made me be able to really find an inroad, because help them solve difficult situations they were in, right? And come out, and find solutions where they could come out of the non-compliances. So basically that was what it was.
Wow. So I've actually noted down the four things that you really did. One was that the first and foremost, you should be a subject matter expert.
Absolutely.
Second should be that you should be a solution provider. If they have a pain point, you should be able to give them solutions. And if that is there, people would be, more than welcome to give you an opportunity. Never saying no to any kind of business and new opportunities where, you have not yet got the subject matter expertise, but you are ready to develop and learn. And fourth is being honest upfront and telling to people that you may be doing this for the first time. So given an opportunity, you will try your best, and you are confident that you'll be able to handle.
Yes.
Wonderful. That is quite a bunch of learning. Coming back to this profession, which is company secretary, I truly understand. Yes, it was the times when people used to know secretary is a person who assists in the personal and day-to-day scheduling and other stuff. They never came to know about the corporate part of the compliance. But I have seen also the phase where the company secretaries who were new, they were of this opinion that unless it is a listed, it is an IPO, there's nothing much that we can contribute value in just making the minutes and handling the board meetings. Do you also have the same view?
So as I rightly said that, for smaller companies, I think that is the only thing which comes into in as far as compliance is concerned, right? So they would be just having to make sure that the annual compliances are placed. Once in a while, they would have an appointment of directors. Once in a while, they will have to do, compliance in terms of additional issuance of shares, because these are all small companies. So there would definitely not be much work. But apart from that, for these small companies, there could be many other things that you could do. Like, for example, you could tell them that, how important is that if that small company has got some IP, how important it is for them to do a trademark registration, how important is to bring that value, onto the table, right? So how help them with the valuation, or how help them with, what in terms of how do you integrate other things, like is it possible that if they have the wherewithal to, look for an acquisition target, or do work such a way that they can be acquired subsequently. So there are a lot of value adds, or help them in thinking differently, if you can, and if they're willing to, right? So there are many other things that you can contribute to, but definitely for them a full-time company secretary will definitely not be of much value, unless they have dual role in terms of they also help with the accounting, with the financials, and the legal part of it, all combined in one. Then, surely they can add a lot of value. So where they can supplement three people, three people's work in, by just one person who can handle. So as a company secretary, it's not just that we are doing legal, we also are, competent enough to handle financial matters if you are interested in. We are also competent enough to do legal transactions, legal documents, all of those things, right? Drafting agreements. So, so it all depends on the individual of how much that person would like to contribute, and, push themselves to be able to get that trust from the management, saying that yes, let's do more and more, right? And even a company secretary can even manage the operations. It's not that they cannot do that, right?
Oh yes, I have seen a lot of company secretaries who have been put on controller plus the compliance roles. They've been put on the roles which is a little bit on operations and compliance. So yeah, they go very well because one compliance they would need a lot of data and first hand factual informations, which would be good if they are into operations and they are into finance side, so they
Yes.
can get the data faster. A lot of compliance also suffers because the data doesn't come from
Correct.
different departments on time. I truly agreed with you. Yeah.
So it's all upon the individual and how much, one wants to, grasp and take in, right? So so I would say that for young professionals, this field is, I mean, this profession can open lots and lots of doors. Either you can have a niche in one particular segment, like for example, if you are interested in IPs, there is a huge amount of work, where you can really go deep into the subject matter, for which you need to do a lot of learnings. You need to constantly keep upgrading your skills, and, get to the know to the right people. So, and there are so many, things that can be done. The other professional which has opened up for company sector is insolvency. I mean,
Yeah.
huge, benefits out there now that it's open that even company secretaries can appear before NCLT. So there are, so
NCLT.
opportunities are enough, and, nowadays, which was not there earlier. But slowly, slowly, even our institute has worked to ensure that there are many, many more avenues for a company secretary, so that they can, have, I mean, choose from whatever they want. Even in the stock exchanges, BSC. I mean, the list can go on. I can just keep talking about so many opportunities that are available. Yes, so that's what it is.
Yeah, I still remember the 25, 30 years back when the role was just about knowing the corporate laws. But now so many other things and compliances and acts have come in where the role of a company secretary has been made very wide. It has been like they have to be part and parcel to every transaction where a document is required, a compliance is required, a legal strategy is required. So yeah, I truly agree with you on this. So another thing which I already thought so many times is that how do you really work towards aspirational value of into an organization. So see, the role of a compliance person is very, very stressful in an organization, and he is expected to do the compliance even if he doesn't get the data on time, even if all other people are not very concerned about how critical the compliance is. Is there a way where the corporates can be more sensitized in the way that it is not just a one person's responsibility, but an organization in as a culture fails if this thing is
Yes, I
not taken
think,
well.
yeah, this is definitely a challenge, Sachi, because even today we find this very challenging, especially when it comes to, the certain annual filings to be done, because you know that everything is time bound, right? And when we keep, prodding, we have to keep on being behind, the promoters and the founders and the management, CFOs, give us the annual reports, give us, so that we can do the filing on time. And still everything comes at the last moment. And then you have, at least we have 15 companies where we have to do the filings in just 2 days, right? Because that's the timeline. So everybody, and so this kind of a thing, though we are trying to as much as educate and sensitize them and, make them feel that, see, ultimately it's they are going to who will be suffering, because I mean, we will do as much as we can to the best of our ability, but then if you don't provide us on time, then how do you expect us to be able to do it on time? But yes, unfortunately, this still is that particular mindset of the people are there, that abhi to time hai na, we'll do it. Like,
I know this mindset. I think is there in literally in the finance profession as well. We want to file the tax audit reports. Want to file the returns, everything at the last moment, and we want to be like on our toes. The last 3 days, you will see that. So I remember those times when the last 11 days, 20 days, before filing the returns, every night there would be like reviews going on, and all the firms are up for the whole night, the whole team is working. And in from the company's perspective, yes, they have done their bit, but if an auditor is not giving the things on time,
oh
it is
yes.
again. So all practicing people, they suffer a lot because of this, though that is the role which is given to them, that yes, compliance is your forte, but their role is made more and more difficult because all others are not understanding how critical it is to be on time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And this is what is I think, the challenge. But slowly, steadily, we are pushing and we are trying to see, because we are very clearly telling them that, look, we, as far as we'll do whatever best we can. But if you cannot, then, sometimes, and because now what has happened, everything is electronic, right? So at the last moment, because there is so much of pressure, that these websites just crash, MCA just crashes, right? There's nothing you can't do. And we tell them that, see, look, then, this is what it is. We are not able to do any filings, though we are ready, because the website is not working because of the so much of pressure and so much of traffic on that. But then, obviously they have to pay the penalties. So slowly, people are understanding, but yet I think we are still very, very far away from that discipline of making sure things.
But tell me, you have worked across borders, you have worked in India as well. So is it the problem only in India that people do at the last moment for the compliance, or it is a problem across the whole globe where there also people are giving details, and there also people do not understand that they have to be on time?
So I would say that multinational companies, right, where there are, at the top management level, see, where there are actually professionals who are working, the culture is very different. But where the founders and the promoters are at the management level, the culture is very different, right? So because the professionals understand the importance of compliance, so that's why multinational companies, like if you look at Tata's, or if you look at, their annual report is ready within 45 days from the close of the financial, when they're such a large organization, multi this thing. How can they do it, and why can't small companies with such a small, with less than a crore, even 5 crores or 10 crores, 15 crores turnover, they're not able to close their accounts even within 6 months from the closure? So it's just a mindset, I feel, right? And the the culture that you are driving. But where governance is given priority, I feel that all the companies, where governance is important for them, and the board is very conscious of governance, then yes, everything is, I mean, much, much well advanced in time, very, very disciplined. They have absolutely targeted timelines, which they've set it at the beginning of the year, of the financial year. But, so for companies which are more founder driven, this is an issue, is what I feel. Yeah.
Okay, so there's much to do on sensitizing them in terms of,
Yeah.
being more compliant rather than so that awareness still is little bit missing with the
Yeah, but
startups. It's
I
little
do
bit
find
missing.
people now in the second generation who are now, especially who are coming in after getting educated from overseas and, getting those things. So there is some kind of a discipline in them. So I do find that in the second generation founders who have now taken over the businesses, I do find there is a change that is definitely creeping in, and they are conscious of this, and they are making sure that they bring that thing within their employees also. So that's, I'm seeing that shift in that thing. But yet, I think we still have a long way to go.
Also, you have been into this journey of 4 decades, and was it sometimes ever felt that being, the part of professional heavy journey or a personal heavy journey, you have been able to balance it well? Is there something like work-life balance at all in whatever you have experienced in your profession,
No,
or
no, it's work life balance is very, very important, and for me that comes as the most priority thing, right? So uh, I had always, and that's the reason why I felt that this profession has given me that flexibility. One is because, since if you're practicing on your own, so you have, you can do as per your time schedule, right? Though, of course, there are time schedules where you have to meet those deadlines. So you can plan it well, that what are the deadlines and how do you plan it, right? Subject to, of course, information available. But apart from that, what happens is that because you are on your own, and as a, you have your own business and you're your own entrepreneur, your own boss, so definitely you can manage your time and give priority to both career as well as to the family. And I feel that it is extremely important that you should have a work life balance. For me, when my daughter was young, I made sure that not only did I drop her and pick her up from school, I always was there, made sure that I accompanied her to various extracurricular activities. Though, I mean, it meant that I may have to work late hours at home to complete my assignments, for deliverables next day. But yes, there are certain sacrifices you have to do. But it sort of, but for me, I couldn't have said that no, no, I just ignore one and take the other one.
yeah.
So
So that's about how we have our enriching journeys, that we
yes,
value both of them being there. We want our, sense of productivity to be there. We want our family to be also happy and, great, feeling great about being together. Absolutely.
but
So
I
is
mean,
it
and also, definitely when you are, when they know that, when there is a need will be there, you're always there for the family. They also support you to ensure that, as a career, you grow and scale. So I think my family was very supportive, both, and my husband, my mother-in-law, as well as my family. So I think that encouragement from the family is also very important.
So is it different to be a, professional and running, a big firm as a woman, or as a male? How is it different for a person who wants both in the life, and how is it a little easier, or it's, more tough? I mean, I just want to know from your
So,
perspective.
from a perspective of balancing work life balance, definitely for the women, it becomes a little, I mean, a little more effort has to be put in as compared to the other gender. But today's generation, again, I feel is that, I think both are contributing equally when it comes to, whatever has to be done at home or at work, right? So I do feel that now the partners are far more understanding and willing to help, even in the domestic life as well as work life, right? So today's generation, maybe, there is far more, equality is there, it's coming in. maybe. And so I feel that there is not so much of pressure now on the women, or the young professionals.
Because why I'm asking this question is, uh, a compliance driven profession per se, as a job also for a male, is where he forgets everything and he can be completely concentrating on what's happening in the company, what he has to troubleshoot and everything. But for a woman, there is a deadline everywhere, in the sense that there's a deadline in compliance, there's a deadline that whether the house front everything is in place, whether the child needs you, that's also something which has to happen on time. So there's too much of compliance, and having a profession which is within compliance, it's like more stress to the life, and that is the reason I asked you that
Yes,
question.
yes, that I definitely agree that it is definitely stressful, especially when you have to meet deadlines, and especially in the compliance field, for sure. I agree with you, but again, I think that how you have a proper understanding, and how do you deal with your family and make them understand that these are some of the days where you will not be able to, you may have to focus on work and need their support to help in that day, if that possible, if it's possible to get that kind of an understanding, to get that kind of a support, then it stress may be a little lesser. I wouldn't say it's stress free. Stress is always there, because irrespective of whatever come may, and that is what is the culture which we have set even in our organization, right? So we have at least 60% or 60-70% are women employees, right, in our organization. Not by choice but by default, right? So uh,
Okay.
but and we always support, like, so as an organization also, we say, okay, fine, like somebody says, can I just work from home, I'll make sure that I comply it, but my child needs me. I said, fine, absolutely okay, as long as it is done from where you're doing, how you're doing, what time you're doing is not the question, but as long as we have done the work, you're doing it at 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't mind. I mean, if you have the capacity, but as long as it's done, it's how you handle it, right? So then they also understand, and probably their families also are seeing that how flexible we are. So when sometimes we ask them that, no, you have to be in office, I think they're more than happy to let them be in office for some longer time. So it again depends
I'm
upon.
wondering what would have happened where there was no work from home, and it is just now
Yes.
that we have realized where I keep thinking that what was the plight where the GPS was not there, what was the thing where, but everything, as in everything is coming in newly also. We think that we are accepting everything which is convenience in our journey, without even thinking whether we used to do it without that also previously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember when I started, like, I did not even have a computer, right? So literally all the minutes were all handwritten. We were not even, there was nothing. So we had to write the minutes, and we had used to have those huge flat registers where I used to keep writing. And so I tell my people and my trainees that, look, y'all are so busy, you just copy paste everything. But for me, we actually wrote everything, right? And we did it. But yeah, I suppose, and that's what, when people say that now with AI, and at that point of saying, okay, now technology is coming, so they will replace so many things. But there is new and new jobs are created. So even with now AI coming, people are saying that so many people will be displaced, and they know there will not be much, this kind of a thing, and that fear. But I feel that every time we come up with something different and something newer, there are newer things which are created, which is always there, enough work for everybody. So, but you just have to keep on improvising your skills, and be move along with the times, I suppose. So, right? So
Yeah, I think we have got more organized, but we have got more work to handle. It is, the journey remains the same every time there's a flyover built up, that, we lease up the traffic by the time the population already increases, and it is the same journey all over.
it's the same. Absolutely, we are still go through the traffic, and we have to go through it. Absolutely, very well said. Yeah.
So, what is your next aspiration in terms of your professional world and your achievements? What is that you want to go for the next thing?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely, as a professional world, I would want to see that RNA, and the profession as itself, right? I can hope to train more and more people, bring them more, and make them equipped enough to be able, so that they can get a career for themselves. um, and So I mean that's what has been. So we've been like, especially our training methodology has been give them a lot of even to the trainees. There's a lot of independence given. Within 2 3 months, we allow them to talk to clients. We give them that confidence. Go ahead, talk to clients. It's okay. And and if case they make mistakes, we are there to cover up. Like and we make sure that we explain to the clients that this is what it is. And but now the clients also are very well aware how we work and our functionalities, right? So hopefully continue that whatever it is, and try to imbibe and and more. Definitely I would love to give back. So I would love to go to give whatever my learning. So I would love to do a lot of teach me, maybe take up a lot of classes, wherever opportunity is there, just go and help and do a lot of.
So
Yeah.
in all the job markets, we see that there is a struggle to get the right match of employees. There's a struggle for an intern to get the right kind of job role. uh, but is this also there in this profession where people are coming for their internship for the initial 2 3 months because they want the degree, and that's a part of the degree, but over and above that, do you really find that the overall level of people has gone up, or are you also struggling with the caliber and the level of people which has gone down though the people have increased?
So, to be honest, yes, we are definitely struggling with the kind of caliber of the people in terms of who come in as articles, right? Because in our profession, like company secretary, they have to do articleship for, they're basically 18 months or sometimes even 36 months, depending upon from where they're joining. So when they come in, we definitely find that they're not at all properly skilled, equipped. Uh, they can't even speak well. They're not able to draft well. Drafting skills are very poor. So a lot of effort has to go to train them and to make them ready. But what we definitely tell them is that uh, we in fact tell them that unless and until you learn, you have to first develop that self learning mode for yourself, that inquisitiveness, that what is it, I need to know more, I need to know more, I need to learn, I need to improve, right? So we keep telling them that unless you have that within you, you will never be able to scale and grow. So first build that inquisitiveness within you, and then whenever you are, keep asking, learn from your peers, learn, discuss, talk, study, do case studies, go into deeper discussions about analyze what has happened. So with that, slowly, slowly they improve their skills. But I would say that also, at least uh, from our perspective, or I would say RNA, in our entire 27 years of our firm, we have maybe 3 or 4 trainees we had to let go mid, because they were just not able to perform. But otherwise, I think we've done quite well in helping them and train them where they have been successfully now placed and doing well in their careers. But yes, it's not. It's very initially the caliber is very.
Great. I think if I may have to close this up, what would be your top two messages or things that you would want to say, to this professional world of yours, or to those people who are newly taking up this as a profession?
Yeah, so my message would be, very clear that first of all, congratulations on selecting this as your profession, because definitely this profession has, a lot to offer. There is a lot of dignity in the profession, and but to maintain that dignity, you have to ensure that, you are true to yourself. You are, give importance to ethics, you give importance to compliance yourself, right? So there has to be discipline within you, first of all. And I would also say that whatever you're doing in life, whether it's this profession or whatever it is, you have to be very focused. And even if you want to start your own entrepreneurial journey, you want to start whatever it is, be focused, be patient, and never give up. because ultimately the rewards will be there. So that will be my message. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Rashida, for your time and your insight in this into this profession, as well as the way you have, being a woman single-handedly and with partners, worked as a partner who could take up so much cross borders, who could work with mentoring of so many people around and across this country. Thank you so much to be on this.
Thank you so much, Sashi, for inviting me, and you know, pleasure knowing you too. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.